Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, maybe have not watched us, we have a segment that my girl Tina has brought up called Overreaction or Reality, ladies and gentlemen. So when we do this, we pose a situation or a question or something out there, and we give our thoughts. Is it an overreaction, the statement, or is it reality? Obviously, the 2020 NFL draft is upon us. So we have to ask the question, or we have to make the statement and give our 2 cents. The QB draft hype is ruining the QB position. Is this an overreaction or reality? I'm going to start first and foremost. I think this is reality. I do.
I agree.
I mean, to me, I think that you continually hyping up these guys and pushing them up, saying before the season even starts, this guy is going to be a number 1 or number 2 draft pick, or before he's done anything in any game, this guy is going to be the greatest. And we're getting younger and younger and younger. And they're continually projecting these guys as the next best thing. How many times we've heard everything about Arch Manning? I still have yet to see Arch Manning play a college football game. And yet he's touted as the next thing, obviously because of the name. But honestly, you look at guys like Trey Lance. You look at guys like Zach Wilson. You look at the late Dwayne Haskins or Daniel Jones. All these guys that get picked so high, and you're just like, these guys aren't that good. And the NFL and the media and everybody's hyping them up. It's ruining it because you got these guys coming in, and Carson Wentz he's a mid-tier quarterback, but he got picked first, second, like early first round. And what happened? This should not be a surprise to us. The success that these guys have, maybe that should be a surprise, because I watched a lot of that film. Going to Brock Purdy, I watched a lot of that film from Iowa State. Brock Purdy was a baller. Now, he had Breece Hall there, and he had Xavier Hutchinson at wide receiver, and he had Charlie Kohler at tight end. But if you don't watch college football, you wouldn't know that Brock Purdy he's a gamer. And he had many matchups with Oklahoma and Jalen Hurts and outclassed him. So, listen, I get it. Just like Steve was saying, nothing else to talk about. Everybody wants to hype stuff. They just want to keep talking. It almost seems like the more you talk about it, the better these guys become. Anthony Richardson became a top 5 pick last year, and when he was at the end of the season, people are like, this guy's a 3rd rounder. But because of all the things he can do with the combine at the pro day and how far he can throw, he got moved up. He didn't finish the season. Now, I don't know if this is that, but listen, for me, we need to pump our brakes on these quarterbacks. I understand the quarterback is the main cog in the wheel, but at the same time, you putting all this money into this hope, this potential guy that he could be the savior of your franchise. It scares me, and it's hurting these guys because you're going to get some Jamarcus Russells. So
No, you're always going to get you're going to get a Jamarcus Russell no matter what, every once in a while.
right.
The way I look at it is, it's exactly like the Moneyball situation that happened in Major League Baseball, where you had these scouts that for generations were like, oh, he has a fastball. He looks like a pitcher. He has a pitcher's body. He has a catcher's body. The blah, 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 blah. And when they started getting into the analytics, they found out that none of that means anything.
No.
You've got to look at the on base percentages. You've got to look at other things in these positions. And I think what we're having in this situation, it's not scouts in this case. I think what it is you're having some people that are looking at it in a more analytical level, like actually looking like when a quarterback, Kalen, when he plays a team that has a 75% win percentage or more, what are his stats?
Right.
Who is he winning against? What is he doing? Where are his passes? Where's all this stuff in there? And they're starting to bring that analytical information more into the story. And
Mm-hmm.
then everybody on the other side is like, absolutely not. No, no, no. He's built
Right.
like a quarterback. He's tall. He looks good. He can hit. And it's like, that, we got to stop doing that stuff,
Right.
guys.
Yep.
We need to actually sit there and be as analytical as everybody else is and say, look, okay, fine. You want this guy for your team, but does your team play his style ball? Does your team have coaches that will work? And the other thing that nobody keeps, and this has been going on for a while, is that nobody's really thinking about how these guys, they're going from playing the top 15% of the football players in the country at different schools to playing the top 1%. And stuff is going to change. That is 100% going to change. The problem is now is that these guys are such an investment. They are
Mm-hmm.
such a huge part of their budget that teams and fans
Mm.
don't want to wait. They
Right.
don't want them sitting on the bench for 3 years anymore. They don't. It's all about move on. Why? And this is a byproduct also bringing in the fantasy football stuff. I have him in fantasy football. I want him to be making points. I picked him to be making points. It's money. So I think I don't it's reality. And on that, my question for overreaction versus reality is Shakur. Hold on, I gotta pull up the banner. But are we with what we're talking about with these guys and all the hype and everything? Is the Eli Manning effect going to change how drafts teams draft in the future? When you have these guys coming out and saying, I will not play for that team. I want to go here, here, and here. And those are the only places I want to go. Is that an overreaction or you think that's a reality? I think it's reality. I mean, we've been seeing it. We saw it this year with Caleb Williams. Agree?
I don't know. I don't know. I think we haven't. I think with Deion Sanders, it's kind of similar to like Eli Manning. The Manning name carries weight. You know, I think
Sanders' name carries weight too. But I think it's Caleb's father was doing some of this stuff. I don't think it's going to happen every year,
I don't think
but I
Caleb
think
Williams carries as much weight as that, like an Eli or a Deion.
within football, correct. But what I meant more was like the dad was trying to control like what deal his kid would get. Like he was, from what I could hear, the scuttle I was hearing is he was like trying to get like interest in the team, members, ownership interest in the team as part of his compensation. So like
Yeah, but
that's
who is he?
exactly. And well, that's the reaction that the
That's
teams
my
had.
point. Yeah,
The reaction was, no, you don't get that. I don't care
and I
what you
think
think you're
that's what
getting.
I think it's an overreaction because I think if you know if it's Smith's son or if it's you know you're talking about something like
Archie
Legend,
Manning.
their son. If we're talking about that Deion Sanders' son, and that's what the story is coming out, he has the pull to say that because they are legends, they are Super Bowl champs, whatever, what have you. But on the flip side, I just do not think that Caleb Williams, for however great he is, I don't think he has his parents have the pull, even though they were asking for that. I think that is more of the reality of you're going to have players with exceptional talent who have been told 2 years in a row they are going to be number one draft pick. They're going to start to say, "Hey, I do have a little bit more pull. I can't ask for a little bit more. If you think I'm
Mhm.
so great, well, then I will ask you. Well, let me be a part of X, Y, and Z." That I think will be a reality. But the Eli Manning effect, I just I don't think people will have that much clout because it's. I didn't think Eli had that much clout, but that Manning name was big. Caleb Williams, he might have that clout of where I can go this way, I can go that way, I can do whatever I want to, but I just don't think people are you're gonna have guys that good. So
Yeah. Yeah, and Archie is coming up, so we could see what happens with that one too. So, but that's a different Manning brother. That's not Eli. I mean, it's Archie Jr. is really who it is. So,
but that's a great point because he will have that kind of if he plays good in the next couple years, he's gonna sit again this year behind Quinn Ewers. But if he plays good these next 2 years or after that, then he would get that. And he doesn't need much help. He's already gotten a push since he came out the womb. Like he's already been the
Mhm.
next coming of whatever. So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, Cooper is the brother. That is his dad. Cooper's a little bit different, and Cooper stays more back outside the limelight, not so much. So we could see what happens, but I do see the Manning name being able to give Archie a little more clout coming in when he is drafted. So, all right. Well, that was my question about whether it's an overreaction or a reality. Sean, that's all
absolutely.
I got. You got anything else?
There it is. No, I think we are all good. Yo, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for sitting with us and joining us on Let's Talk Football Breaking News. I am your host, Sean Spencer.
And I am Tina Winter, and thank you for joining us, guys. Have a good day.
We will talk to
Bye,
you later.
Kat.